All right, today we're going to explore something truly special, a timeless piece of wisdom that's been guiding people for, thousands of years. I'm talking about the Tao Te Ching from the ancient sage Lao Tzu. So let's dive right into this amazing text. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll start with the core idea, the path to harmony. Then, we'll get a little mysterious and figure out why the way cannot be named. After that, we'll unpack 5 incredible lessons in flow, and of course, we'll look at how all this ancient wisdom fits into our modern lives, before we wrap up by seeing how this is really a guide to be lived, not just read. Okay, let's kick things off with that first big idea, the path to harmony. This is all about introducing us to this pretty profound concept of effortless living. So what exactly is the Tao Te Ching? Well, it's one of the most respected philosophical works out there, written, get this, over 2,500 years ago. I mean, can you even imagine that? It's this collection of 81 beautiful poetic verses, all about living in harmony with nature. It teaches you about things like effortless action, humility, and finding balance by understanding opposites. And what's cool is, it's not some rigid, strict philosophy. Taoism is all about being fluid, adaptable, guiding us to a life that's just easier, with a much deeper understanding of everything. Right, so at its very core, the Tao Te Ching introduces us to this concept of the Tao, which literally means the way. Think of it as the fundamental force that just flows through everything. And Lao Tzu makes it really clear, you can't just think your way into understanding the Tao. It's not an intellectual puzzle. You have to feel it, you have to experience it, and you have to live it. His whole message is about letting go of that need to control everything, to just flow with life, and to embrace simplicity. So, you see, it's way more than just a book. It's a hands-on guide for finding inner peace and feeling connected to the universe. Okay, now we're getting into one of the most fascinating, kind of mind-bending ideas in the whole text. And that's this idea that the true way can't actually be named. The Tao Te Ching kicks off with this really powerful paradox. It says, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. Just that one line, it completely challenges our very human need to stick a label on everything, to define it all. It's this beautiful reminder that the most profound truths, well, they just can't be squeezed into words. So the Tao is this universal flow, the current that guides all of existence. I mean, think about it. The way the seasons change, the cycles of life and death, that constant dance between light and dark. Instead of fighting to control all of that, Lao Tzu basically tells us, hey, just surrender to it. Let go and move with the natural rhythm of life. And that's the key takeaway right there. You can't force wisdom. You can't just study for it like a test. It has to be experienced. It has to be felt, just like you feel the wind or the warmth of the sun. It's part of the flow. All right, so now that we have a better feel for what the Tao is, let's get practical. We're going to dive into 5 core teachings that can actually help us live with a little more harmony. So here are the 5 big ones we're going to cover. First, there's Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. Then, the surprising power of softness. After that, the beauty of living simply. We'll also get into the wisdom of embracing paradoxes. And finally, the incredible harmony found in the balance of opposites. Okay, first up, Wu Wei. This is the art of effortless action, and honestly, this concept is a total game changer. Instead of constantly pushing and struggling and trying to force things to happen, Wu Wei teaches us that real wisdom is about flowing with the circumstances. It's like trying to surf a wave instead of trying to swim against the current. Make sense, right? So what does this Wu Wei actually look like in the real world? Well, think about water flowing around a big rock. It doesn't slam against it trying to break it. Nope, it just finds a new path around it. Or think about a truly great musician. They aren't forcing the notes. The music just seems to flow through them effortlessly. And a really wise leader, they don't micromanage and control everyone. They guide and inspire people to follow naturally. So Wu Wei isn't about doing nothing. It's not being passive. It's about aligning with the way things are and letting go of all that unnecessary struggle. So let me ask you, where in your life could you use a little more Wu Wei? All right, our second big theme is tied really closely to Wu Wei. It's all about the power of softness and yielding. The soft overcomes the hard. The weak overcomes the strong. Now, I know at first glance that sounds totally backwards, right? But think about it. Nature shows us this is true all the time. A tiny, gentle stream of water over many years can wear down the hardest stone. A flexible bamboo tree can bend and sway in a crazy storm, while a big, rigid oak tree just snaps. It's such a powerful reminder that being flexible and resilient is often way more effective than just using brute force. Okay, number 3. This one is a real challenge for most of us in the modern world. Living simply and humbly. I mean, our whole society pretty much screams at us to value ambition, status, and having more stuff. But Lao Tzu comes along and reminds us that actually simplicity, humility, and just being content, those are way more valuable than that endless chase for more. And the lessons here are really profound, you know? Constantly chasing after the next thing, it often just leads to stress and suffering. But being content, that brings peace. It brings clarity. It's about understanding that true fulfillment comes from the inside, not from a bigger house or a fancier title. And I just love how the text puts it. He who knows he has enough is truly rich. This brings us perfectly to our 4th theme, which is all about wrapping your head around the unexpected. It's about embracing paradoxes. And believe me, the Tao Te Ching is full of these kinds of mind-bending truths, where what you think is weak is actually strong, and what seems empty is actually bursting with potential. Check this out. Empty yourself and you will be filled. Yield and you will overcome. Just think about that for a second. A bowl is only useful because it's empty, right? A room is only livable because of the empty space inside it. And it's the same with us. When we let go of our ego, when we drop our old ideas, we create space for new wisdom and new growth to come in. And that brings us to our 5th and final core theme, which really ties everything together. It's the balance of opposites, which you probably know best as yin and yang. The Tao Te Ching just beautifully explores this amazing interplay. Just think about all the opposites that make up our lives. You've got light and dark, hard and soft, action and stillness, even life and death. Now, instead of seeing these things as fighting each other, Lao Tzu teaches us that they're really just 2 sides of the same coin. You literally can't have one without the other. And when you really get that, when you understand that balance, it can help you let go of so much fear and resistance and just live with more acceptance. It's a great question to ask yourself. How can you find more of that balance in your own life? Okay, so this is all really beautiful philosophy, but how do we actually apply this ancient wisdom to our crazy modern lives? I mean, even though this was written thousands of years ago, its lessons are, you won't believe it, so relevant for dealing with the stress, the ambition, and all the conflict we see today. All right, let's break it down. In just our day-to-day lives, we can try to let go of that need to be perfect and just flow with the ups and downs. We can practice a little more patience and just trust that things will work out in their own time. At work, we could try leading with more humility instead of trying to control everything. We could balance our ambition with a sense of contentment so we don't burn out. And for our own personal well-being, it's about trusting the rhythm of life, finding some inner stillness, maybe through meditation or just quiet time, and trying to live more simply, really focusing on what actually matters. And this brings us to our final section, which is really the whole point of the Tao Te Ching. It's a guide to be lived. It's not just a collection of cool ideas to think about. It is a practical manual for a life filled with more wisdom, more harmony, and more of that effortless living we talked about. So let's do a quick recap of the biggest takeaways from our journey today. Number 1, flow with life. Don't fight the current. Number 2, let go of control, because true mastery is all about adapting. 3, embrace simplicity and find real happiness in just being content. 4, recognize the power of softness. Remember, flexibility is your greatest strength. And finally, number 5, balance the opposites in your life and see the unity in everything. So take a second. Which one of those really resonates with you right now? You know, the Tao Te Ching has inspired so many people throughout history, from famous philosophers to just regular, everyday folks. It's truly a timeless guide to a more peaceful way of being. And I'll leave you with this. It's not a book to be picked apart and debated. It's a wisdom to be lived, to be experienced, and to be felt.